Hey crafters, this is Nye. Today we are going to be assembling our Halloween Boo Ghost card. I'm going to be using my art glitter glue here for all of my gluing. I also have my tweezers. These are definitely going to be a must today because there's a lot of smaller pieces here. I have a push pin that I'm going to be using for some of these smaller pieces here just to kind of help me get the alignment correct. And so these push pins, they're just like regular pins that you would use if you were sewing. That's all I'm using. That's what I mean when I say a push pin here. It's got the little ball at the end. And your bone folder. The bone folder is definitely going to be a must for today as well. Okay, so as you can see, I have all of my pieces here. They are cut out. They are lined up in the order that I want for gluing. I've got the two pieces that are for my envelope. This one was the light blue piece and this one was the hot pink piece here. And then we're going to put these together at the very end. Let's get started right away though with working with the card. Okay, so all of the pieces here, they're cut out and they're lined up in order. This is going to be a layered card, but this one's a little bit different from my normal layered projects in the sense that I didn't make every layer just about exact where we're just layering right on top of the other, only because I didn't want to have a crazy amount of layers for the front of the card here. So we're going to be kind of putting this one together a little bit differently than normal. And then I have this piece here. This is the insert of my card. It's not glued down here on this side because this will be the back of my card. But I did just want you to see that I had it ready and it was cut out. So I'm actually going to move this off to the side as well. And we're going to get started right away. So I did not go ahead and glue any of the pieces down ahead of time. So we're going to do most of them all together right now. Okay, so for the letters here, the orange layer, it's really, there's some glue here stuck to the back of my, stuck to the tip of my tweezers. For this orange layer here, this one has a lot of holes here in it. And this was the layer, the orange boo ones with the dots. This is the one that I cut out here using the cardstock for intricate cut setting, only because these little dots were kind of crazy and they were just really hard to cut. So all I'm doing now is I'm gluing these down and I'm placing them one right on top of the other. And I'm just shifting it to get it in that right position, which you guys can't probably really see because my fingers are in the way. So there's that one. I'm going to do the same thing here for this one. And I might try to speed up this video a little bit for some of it, maybe when I get to the bigger pieces, only because there's a lot of little layers in the pieces here. And I should probably be using my tweezers, but I do like to use my hands a little bit more, only because I can feel the sides of the letters and the pieces, and I know that I'm lining them up here. All right, so I've got almost all of these done. And there we go. All right, so I think I'll use my tweezers now. So I'm just holding it there. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue them down onto the black piece here. And so there's no set way to glue this down, but you do kind of want to make sure that you are getting it in somewhat of a line. So, and then remember too, that if you're using the art glitter glue like I am, it's going to dry clear. So you don't really have anything to worry about. And the only reason why I'm doing these smaller ones first is so that they don't get lost here on my table, especially like the two pieces for the hands. Those will definitely get lost because my tabletop is white, the hands are white. They'll just blend right in and then I'll get frustrated because I'll be like, oh no, what did I do with it? All right. So this one, because the hand is there, I don't really want to lift it. So I'm just going to try and line it up right there. And then for the hand, this part of the hand, I want to get it in the right position again. And then I'm going to hold this part down and I'm just going to glue right here on top of the pole. Okay. All right, now I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to put it off to the side. So there we go. There's our little sign. That's kind of cute just by itself. Okay, let's start with the shoes. So these smaller pieces that I'm doing first, I'm only doing them because they're small and I don't want to lose them here on my table. And I'm just using my fingers because this one's a little bit larger, I'm just using my fingers to line it up in the right position. So I'm going to do the same thing here on this side. And there we go. And so you do want to make sure that whatever glue that you're using as well, it does have this fine tip at the top, because that's going to also help you to get the glue on these smaller edges here and keep them in the right position. So I'm going to put this hand right there. I'm going to come back to it. Let's do the basket of the pumpkin first. And so that black one is for all of this, except for maybe right there at the very back. So I'm just going to place this one again right on top and using my fingers to get it in the right position. And then for this one here, I'm going to add the glue to the back and then just place it again right on top. Now, because I want to make sure that I glue the hand first, I'm going to place it again right back in the position. I'm going to add a little bit of glue just right there. There's a little bit more than I wanted. And then I'm going to take the hand and I'm going to use my push pin to pick it up. Now with the push pin, it's going to make a little tiny hole as you pick it up. That's okay because it's not really going to show up. But if you end up jabbing this like 20 times, then you're going to end up seeing some dots here. Now, when I go to put this one down, I don't want the top of the hand here to line up right with the top of the edge of the basket. I want to push it up so that way it's up a little bit higher, only because if it's right at the top, then I might end up seeing a little bit of the black for the top of the basket there. And I don't want that to come through. So I'm just going to add it a little bit higher so that way the white is kind of seamless when I go to dry it, okay? So there we go. So you can see it here on this side. I've added it just a little bit higher, and that's good. All right, so now we're ready to kind of do the bigger piece here. What I'm gonna do now is I am gonna speed up the video. I'm gonna move this card base off to the side, and I'll bring it back in a moment. I'm going to speed up the video here as I go to do these larger pieces. And again, the same thing that I'm doing is I'm going to line everything up one right on top of the other and glue them together. When you go to glue the frame, I want you to really slow down and take your time and make sure that everything is lining up perfectly. This is where our precision is really going to be important, because if it's off by just a little, it's going to show with the card. Like, it's not going to line up correctly along the edges, and it will show, and it will, I don't know, it will just show. So if you're okay with it showing, then that's okay too. But just slow down and take your time with it, okay? So I'm going to start gluing these, and I'll speed up the video a little bit, and then I'll slow things back down when we go to like put everything together. Okay, so I I decided that I was going to slow things back down a little bit here. Okay, so hopefully, even though I sped it up here with doing this part of the frame, you were able to see that really just kind of taking your time to get it lined up is key. And as you could tell too, each layer was kind of a little bit different. They weren't all kind of exactly the same where each layer just brought in a new color. They were all very different layers there. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to slow it down so that way you guys could really see it. All I'm doing here is I added the glue along the edges, and when I went to line it up with the previous layers, what I did was I kind of went on the side. And so I held it here between my fingers, and I used that to really focus on getting it in the right position. And so you just really take your time with it to get it lined up. And you can see it right there. So you can see the frame. All right. And then our little ghost friend here, I'm actually going to add these pieces too before we move on. And so all I'm going to do is I added the glue there, and that's for the shoes. And so I'm just using my fingers to make sure that those get in the right position too. And again, when you're adding your pieces too, remember that you've got about 5 seconds to shift things around before the glue bonds and then you're stuck, okay? So just consider that when you go to place things down. You've got that 5-second window, and then you're stuck. Okay, and then now just for his sign. All right, there goes my glue. Okay. All right, so I've got this one lined up, and there. So there he is. All right, okay. All right, so I'm gonna put that there, and now what we're gonna do, let me bring in the base back again. Okay, so you can see your score line that goes right down the middle. What I'm going to do now is, even though I've got my score line, I'm going to take my cardstock, my base here, and I'm going to line it up right at the edge. Now you can fold it. This is how I like to do mine, but you can fold yours right on the score line if you want. But sometimes I find that when I'm making a card, if I do it right on the score line, sometimes it might end up being just a hair like too high or off just a little bit. So I found that this is the way that I like to do it. So again, what I said was I'm just lining it up, making sure that the top part here is meeting the bottom edge there. And I'm going to hold it here. And now I'm going to grab my bone folder in my other hand, and I'm going to come to the edge, and then I'm going to press it down. Okay? And then I'm going to keep my hand there, tilt it, and then come in and press that edge down. All right? And then you can see that usually will do it. I'm off just a little bit right here, but it's okay. See, this is where my type A personality and my OCD is coming into effect. All right, but you can see that for the most part, it's pretty good. Okay, and then I'm going to open it back up. And now I'm going to bring in my frame here. And I'm going to line it up right against that score line. So you can see that it fits right there. And all I'm going to do now is just add this glue to the back. I'm going to add a little bit along the other layers. Don't go too crazy. I'm not going to add any to the green there. I'm going to let that one go. And like I said, right there against the score line. Okay, and then once you have it, just press it down. And then you can fold it again one more time just to make sure that it's lining up. All right, so that looks good. I think think that was some glue there. It doesn't matter. The ghost will cover it. Okay. And then now for the ghost person, it's your decision where you want to put him. I didn't add any specific guideline to where he needed to go. I just decided that that could be your choice there. But you do kind of want to make sure, obviously, that he fits within the frame, you know, so don't grab him and put him over there, you know, where he's right at the edge. You want to make sure that he kind of just fits right in the frame there, okay? And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to add my glue to the back for him here, and just making sure that you get all around the edges so that way he sticks down. And then you can just place him right in there. And again, you do kind of want to make sure that he's on the grass layer. You don't want to put him up here towards the top, too close to the skyline. And then you just kind of place him down. And then you press, okay? And so this one's just really fun. And there it is, like it's super cute. And then when you go to do the insert here, so he's got his sign that says boo. And then the insert is, did I scare ya? So something just to kind of make you laugh. And so I didn't add any score lines to kind of get this one in the right position. This is where we're just going to kind of eyeball this insert part. If you really wanted to, I guess you could have written it on the inside of the card. If you're using like a navy blue like I did, you might want to use a white pen instead of a black, or you could change the color of this insert too. Oh, and speaking of that, if you wanted to, you could have taken this outer rim of the frame and you could have used a pattern cardstock as well. Just another consideration. I just thought of that. That would add something a little bit fun. All right, so you kind of want to get an idea of eyeballing it where you want it to be into the center there. Then once you do, all you're going to do is just add some glue to the back here. Be generous. Be generous, but not crazy. All right, and then again, just kind of eyeballing where you want it to be and then pressing it down. And so you could, if you had the white pen, you could still write something on this side if you wanted to, or you could just sign something here, depending on who you're gifting this to. And so that finishes the card part, and it's so fun and cute and different. Okay, so let's work on the envelope. So if you decided that you're gonna mail it, we are going to create an oversized envelope. So if you're mailing it, you're going to think extra postage because it's an oversized envelope, but you can see that it's going to kind of fit right there. And what we're going to do is you have this part of the envelope and then this part we're going to glue on, and you can see the score lines. And I got all kinds of stuff here on my cardstock. I don't know what it is. Okay. But what we're going to do is we're just going to fold and then use our bone folder again, just to get those creases going. And then again, using the bone folder right there. And then again for this side, bone folder right there as well. And then for the flap here. All right, bone folder right there as well. Okay. So when you go to put it down, all you're going to do is fold these parts and you're going to come back in with your glue. Now, this part of the envelope, it doesn't go all the way up to the top, okay? So you can see it's probably about 1/2 inch here. That's the space. So you just want to come down a little bit and just kind of add your glue. And you do want to use a good amount of glue here, or you could use double-sided tape. You just kind of want to make sure that, oh, I'm running out. That's so interesting. I think it clogged. There's always some glue issue, right? Okay, there we go. Oh, no, it's just really dead. Okay. So you want to do that there, and I'm going to press this one down and then gluing this side down as well. All right. So we've got that part, and then we're going to add the glue to this side. Now you do want to get, I got it on my table, you do want to get into the corners because that's where it's going to make that seal. Okay. And then you want to take your top piece and line it up so that way it fits right into the corner. Start on one side and then meet it over to the other side and then press it down and give it a moment. Like hold it here, really press it down so that way it dries. Okay. And there's our envelope. And then you can take your card and you can slide it right in. And it's ready for mailing. Okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this craft. I hope that the recipient of this card enjoys it as well, this homemade card that you made. Please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and happy crafting.